disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
All right. Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movie, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partner, Mike Gibbs. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Gene?
I'm good, man. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know that we are members of the Martial Arts Inner Network. On Mondays, you got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays, CTE, Chris, Travis, and now Carlos Experience. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Eugene and Mike. And Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Mike, it's showtime. Man,
what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. So you just been traveling, huh?
It's been crazy, man. I was in Detroit Friday, hung out the weekend, and then I did some traveling with work to some specified locations that I'm not allowed to talk about.
All right.
Just business reasons. And made it back home about 5 o'clock today.
All right.
So, but I'm going to be in Indiana the rest of the week, and I don't know if I'm coming to Detroit this weekend, but it should be low-key the rest of the week. But, yeah, a lot of traveling for work. Went home, seen my dad and some of my friends in Michigan this past weekend, so it was a good time. Good time. You guys are steady on lockdown up there, boy.
What you mean?
With the lockdown, well, like
I can't tell. I mean, I'm seeing everybody out and everything. I pretty much forgot that it was a lockdown, except for gyms. But other than that, I don't know what's closed. I mean, gyms and movie theaters. That's the only thing I know that's closed. Other than that, man, restaurants are open. I went downtown a couple weeks ago, and people were all over the place downtown. I was surprised. They actually had they were showing a movie outside downtown in Campus Martians. They had a big screen set up, and people had like little chairs and was sitting there watching Toy Story or something. So I can't really tell that. But then again, I don't get out all that often anyway. But I can't really tell.
Indiana, I mean, you don't even have to wear masks.
You said you don't have to wear masks?
Not like how in Michigan, like every place. Like when I stopped to get gas and stuff, I had to put the mask on and go in and get the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. People are still wearing masks. I'm not really seeing people. Back in March when everything really blew up, people were wearing gloves everywhere. And now I'm not really seeing too many people wear gloves. I have a bunch of gloves that I keep in my car, and but everyone pretty much is having masks on now. So, I'm just kind of used to it now.
All right. What'd you do this weekend, man? Anything new?
Man, I just chilled, really, man. Just stayed at the house, hung out. Champ was over here Saturday, and we did some training. I had him outside working on a couple things, and that's pretty much it, man. I just relaxed, and I did watch some movies, man. I did. So I saw the first part of Rumble in the Bronx. For those of you listening, this is we're supposed to record the last part of The Last Dragon today, and also Rumble in the Bronx, but I don't think we're getting to Rumble in the Bronx today. I mean, you know what, man? It really wasn't.
I'll just be honest. You can blame me. Blame me, man.
So, I mean, but you got an excuse. You were out of town. You did some traveling. You have work and everything. You got other responsibilities. Right. But you know what, man? It was not.
I had planned. Usually, I watch the movie. I try to watch the movie like if we're gonna watch a movie. So like if we record on Tuesday, I try to start watching the movie Wednesday or Thursday, right? Because I know I'm gonna get into something the weekend, whether it's yard work around the house,
Mm-hmm.
And then my people don't want to watch what I'm watching, so so I try to watch it Wednesday and Thursday, and then I'll try to watch it like Monday. If I don't finish it or watch it again. So sometimes I try to watch it again, take better notes. But with me traveling on Monday, it just and it was spur of the moment travel. I got Monday taken away from me, so I apologize to everyone.
And you know what, man? Rumble in the Bronx, it was not on Netflix. It wasn't on anything that I normally look at movies on, except for Daily Motion. And I text you and said, hey, the movie's on Daily Motion, so we didn't have to rent it off Amazon. But if you watch the movie on Daily Motion, man, you are going to get slammed with a lot of commercials.
Really?
It seemed like it was every 5-10 minutes there was another commercial playing, man. And that kind of slowed the movie down a little bit for me. Even though when I watched it, I thought I saw this movie before. I thought I saw Rumble in the Bronx before, but when I watched it, I didn't know nothing about this movie. It's not what I expected. It's not.
See, I saw it years ago, I believe. So I might not have watched it. I might be like you. It was years ago, I believe, though.
Like years ago, like when it first came out, when I thought I saw it. And when I watched it over the weekend, I didn't take notes. And this is my first time seeing it, so I cannot definitely go off the top of my dome with this movie. But it wasn't as silly and as goofy as I thought. You know, because Jackie Chan has a lot of comedy in his movies. And this movie, it has some comedy, but it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. I just thought it was going to be a bunch of slapstick from the moment they said action. And it wasn't like that. Right. So I was entertained with what I saw. Now, like I said, I only saw the first half of the movie. I did not get a chance to watch it a second time. Just doing things with work and stuff, and then also doing stuff for my karate program. And I have to finish taking notes for The Last Dragon, the third part of The Last Dragon. So I'm kind of glad that you didn't get to see it, man, because I've been upset if I would have had to take those notes and we didn't talk about it today. So we will review that for next week. We'll both watch it, and then we'll have our commentary on that for next week, okay?
Hey, man, you don't have a Champ story for me? He seems like a funny dude, man. You always have a story about him.
Yeah, not today. Nah, not this time.
Weekend.
Nah, not that I think of. He was pretty chill, man. We came here. Hung out. I thought he was going to get upset having to do karate in the backyard, but he didn't. He loved it. I thought he was going to get tired also. You know, I recorded it and put it on Facebook.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I put it on Facebook, and what people are seeing actually is his second and third time doing those drills. And I thought he was going to get real tired and not want to do it anymore, but he was fine. The only one that he really got tired on was I had him doing jumping over my air shield. So he would jump over to one side of the air shield, then jump back, and then he would do a back leg front snap kick and front leg roundhouse kick, right? Jump over and back, front kick, roundhouse kick. That was the only thing he really got tired of. Other than that, everything else that I had him doing outside, he was fine. So I was like, wow.
I don't blame him. I've been tired too.
Yeah, but other than that, we went to go see my parents. I always make sure that he goes see them on the weekend. When he's with me, we'll go over there for a couple hours. He'll hang out over there. But other than that, man, it was pretty cool. Then we went back to his mom's house, and he was like, Daddy, you want to spend the night? I said, that's not possible. That's just not going to happen. I'm making sure I don't get in no type of trouble at all with that one, So he doesn't really comprehend that right now. All he knows is like, how do you know spend the night? You can stay here. I said, where I'm going to sleep? He was like, you can sleep on the couch or in mommy room. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. I can't do that, buddy. I can't do that.
So you always got a story for me. I love that.
I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about it, man. I didn't even think about that. All right, so let's jump into it, man. The Last Dragon Part 3, man. You know what, man? This has to be one of my favorite movies. I like a lot of movies. For those of you who don't know, I watch a lot of movies all the time. And even though this movie is real campy, is real cheesy, I still enjoy this movie. No matter, this is one of those movies that no matter if it's on TV, I'm going to stop and watch it. No matter what scene it is. This is not a movie that I have to see from the very, very beginning of the movie. I can come in at the middle of the movie and watch it and enjoy it. My other favorite movies, I love Back to the Future. the first two. The third one, I can watch it, but it's not my favorite. The third one, but the first two, I love the first two Back to the Futures. And I also, my favorite Christmas movie, can you guess what it is, Mike? My favorite Christmas movie.
Bad Santa.
No, it's not that. It's A Wonderful Life.
Hold on. Oh, is it?
I told you. It's A Wonderful Life. That's my favorite Christmas movie.
That's not what I was going to guess.
What were you thinking?
The Chipmunks Christmas.
I have not seen that in a long time, man. Like it's certain Christmas movies they don't even show anymore. Like that Chipmunk movie, I haven't seen that. There was a Garfield Christmas movie that I have not seen.
Oh, I forgot about that. Right.
Do you remember the old Towards the Night Before Christmas? And they were like little. It was about little mice. Like I never see that. You know what I did this year? I watched it this year. It's on YouTube. So I found it on YouTube, or it was either on YouTube or I looked on Google and found the link for it, and I saw it. But I made sure to look for it this year.
I remember that.
Yeah, but they don't really show that. They show their classics like the Charlie Brown Christmas, and they show what's that other one? Rudolph and Frosty and Santa Claus. They show all of those every year. But some of the other ones that we used to watch when we were younger, they don't really show no more. Like the Chipmunk movie, like Garfield, like all the ones we just said, Yep. So let's jump into it, man. The Last Dragon.
Hey, I gotta interrupt you though.
Go ahead.
Stop. What's up? I backed up on my podcast. So now Carlos is into the podcast.
Oh, you haven't heard? That's right.
I heard, but I didn't confirm. Like, so I'm like traveling, just scrolling through, and I'm like, hold on, what? So I started because I'm 2 podcasts behind because remember I usually listen to all the podcasts on Mondays. So I wait.
Yeah.
And, I get my time at work. I listen to the podcast. Well, I was traveling Monday, so I didn't hear. So Carlos is doing the podcast now. I just found out this morning when I listen. I listen to the podcast when all of our podcasts, everyone in the main gang, when the main gang drops their podcast, I listened to the podcast that morning. So this morning, as I was getting ready for work, I listened to CTE, and I didn't know this was going to happen either. And Trav announced that Carlos Tyranny is going to join him and Chris Walker on CTE. So it was pretty funny, man. Listen to it. You're going to enjoy it, and it gives it a different dynamic. The energy was, they always had good energy, but it was taken up. When you listen to the podcast, you're going to hear the energy with them. Trav was talking with me before you jumped on about what they were going to name the podcast, but they could just leave it CTE. It's still, it's still Chris, Travis, Carlos. Carlos Tierney. That's CT already. So it could be CCTE or Travis said something like maybe CCTV. Who knows, man? Right. But it was a good show they had. Well, I think that's good. That's good getting him involved. So it's gonna be interesting when he jumps on our thread of text messages. He's gonna see how crazy people are, Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. All right, so let's jump into it, man. The Last Dragon. Here's part 3 of The Last Dragon. All right, so when we left off, Rock and Eddie were at Eddie's arcade, and he was interviewing people that he wanted to hire to fight Leroy, right? So when we start off this one, Angie is recording a new video. She's singing. She gets tired, and they give the girls a break, and the people that's in the video with her, they leave the room, and Angie lays down, and she's telling Eddie that she's getting tired of doing all the recording. She doesn't think that Laura's going to play the video anyway, so she feels like she's starting to waste her time, and she doesn't really want to do it anymore. Eddie tells her that Laura's going to see the light once he gets Leroy out of the way. Now, when he says that, Angie kind of starts to look concerned. She didn't understand what get him out of the way meant. Right. And, especially for her, she didn't want that to be put on her, Right. He tells her that he got a lot of talent lined up downstairs, and she's really starting to get concerned. She doesn't want anyone to get hurt.
She doesn't want anybody to get killed. And now Eddie is starting to get upset because he feels that Leroy embarrassed him. He even said like nobody does what he does to me and gets away with it. And then Angie and Eddie, they start to have an argument with each other. She says that Eddie's just using her for fortune, just like how he tried to do with Rock. And Eddie tells her that if she's unhappy, she can leave. She claps back and says, that she doesn't want to have her. She doesn't want him to use her. And she leaves. She walks out on him after that little discussion. They talked about where they were from. Kew Gardens. I have no idea. If you're from New York, I don't know if that's a good place, a bad place. I have no idea what's up with Kew Gardens, but
yeah.
But they were both.
I never even heard of it.
I know of it because of the movie. That's it. I don't even know if it's a project or what, because they were kind of using that as an insult toward each other.
Right.
Maybe I'll look that up one day. Maybe once we get off
the Harmon Gardens, you know what the deal was.
Yeah, I know the Harmon Gardens. I don't even think that's around them. I think they tore it down. I think they tore the Harmon Gardens.
They tore it down years ago.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. We're not going to talk about that anymore. All right, so the next scene. We see Sho'nuff. He's training. He's fighting. He's beating someone up. He's beating them to a pulp. I assume this is Sho'nuff's academy, his dojo, because I saw some trophies in the background, and the place just looks really raggedy. It looked really raggedy. What did you think of his school?
I mean, I don't know. It had some grit to it. It reminded me of like Rocky 3 walking into that gym, or some other karate schools I've been in. I won't say whose, but
Eddie and Rock show up with some money for Sho'nuff. Sho'nuff doesn't even want the money. They had a lot of money in his briefcase. He doesn't want it. He just wants them to get Leroy at the designated place. That's all he cared about. But I would have thought that he should have took the money and fixed up his damn school. I mean, that place looked like it was falling apart. Who turns down money? That's crazy.
See, but I think Sho'nuff was in the streets getting students, and then he bring them to the dojo.
Yeah, man.
He bring them to the dojo.
Yeah, you know what, man? I was thinking about, because I was watching them spar, and sometimes when I'm watching movies, I start daydreaming a little bit. And I was thinking about what you were going to say about this part. And then I got to thinking, like, Mike, we've been training for a long time together. And I don't really remember sparring you too many times.
You guys were away at school.
I understand it, but I came home in the summertime. Were you not there in the summer? And I would come home home on holidays. But I don't really remember ever sparring you, and that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, so I worked at ABC crew at General Motors in the summertime. So they'll work like 6 days, 5 days, 6 days, 5 days, 7 days, 6 days. It's like a split crew, and I was always on afternoon shift. So there was a little while there for a couple of years where I was on afternoon shift. And I would actually train in Waterford at a karate school with a guy in the mornings. And then I would go to General Motors. And then my off days would either be a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh,
so I would get to the school only once or twice, but never on the weekends because I didn't have seniority.
Okay.
Because I hired in 97.
Okay. Because I was thinking man.
So Ski wasn't even really there. You weren't there. Ski was there. Travis was young. Willie was there. Jermaine wasn't even there yet. He was still with Marlon Jenkins. There was Shantae.
Oh, wow. You know Shantae. Okay, you remember Shantae. Oh, yeah. Wow.
But that's who was like in the class with me.
But even still, man.
Even when I would go to fight nights, it'd be like people from other places was always there. It wasn't really like our people.
But see, that's what I'm saying, because, okay, so even though I was not competing a lot in tournaments, I was still at the school all the time, you know, and I didn't really, even when I was doing music, I didn't start not coming around on Friday nights till maybe around 2004.
I was done.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
I quit competing.
That's crazy, Mike. Like
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, like I've known you for all of this time, and I really don't ever remember sparring, not competing.
I quit
Sparring
competing
you.
in like 2002, and
Okay.
then I did 2008. I competed 8 or 9.
Okay.
I did Tony Young's tournament, and I did like this Michigan event they had. I only did 2 tournaments. I did Tony Young's. I don't know why. Just went to Tony. Oh, it was the first like WKC qualifier. That's why I went. I did Tony Young's, did that event, and then I didn't compete again until just when you saw me, like 2017.
No, well, but even still, like I was teaching. So around 2005 is around the time when my uncle started doing the Kids Kicking Cancer, and for 2005 to 2006, he put me in charge of the school. I was the main instructor at the school, so I was still around. So you weren't around at that time, and then after 2006, I pretty much really got focused into music, and then again, I was dating and had that little 4-month incident when I got married. And then got out of that. Yeah. But I still was pretty much school then. Okay. But man, that's still crazy, man, that me and you have never really fought each other sparred. That's crazy. Like even for the WKAs, like we didn't even spar against each other for the WKAs.
You weren't in my division.
No, I'm not talking about competing. I'm talking about training. I'm talking about at the school on Friday nights. I don't remember sparring
because that's when I was on that split shift. Wow. I was training in Waterford during that.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is crazy.
That was 98. And I heard in General Motors in 97. I had no seniority.
Wow, yep. That's crazy.
You and I only competed in another tournament was the one where, Anthony stopped me.
Yeah, but I don't think we were in the same division then, were we? I don't think so. I got
the bracket.
You do?
I got the bracket.
Is that the only time we've competed in the same division? Because I don't never remember. I know as kids, me and you never fought in the same division. I was always either. No,
I was always with. What happened? There you go. I was always with James.
Right. Now, even though James is a little bit younger than me, but he was taller than us. So they had separated us when we were juniors by height at that time. So, okay.
And me and James were always tall.
Right. Okay. All right, let's get back to the movie, man. So, yeah, that was tripping me out when I had specifically thought about that as showing up for sparring. I was like, damn, me and Mike I can't really remember us ever fighting each other. That's crazy. Okay, let's jump back into the movie. Got sidetracked. Leroy shows up at Laura's apartment to apologize to her. She isn't home. She approaches as he is leaving. He tells her he came by to apologize. She says, that's okay. You can be my bodyguard. He tells her that he would love to be her bodyguard, but he has a mission to complete first. And he tells her a little bit about the mission to get to the final level. Like, she should have known when he started talking about that final level, she should have thought, okay, this dude is nuts. He's wacky. He got issues. Because that's what I was thinking when I was listening to it, because he was talking, about the glow and final levels and, all of that weird stuff. The stuff that, I roll my eyes when people on the street start talking to me about certain things, Those weird martial arts, when they start talking about the weird stuff to me. I can't stand those people. She tells him, okay, hold on, don't leave. She'll be right back in 5 minutes. Now, when she walked up, she had a bunch of bags. So I'm assuming she went upstairs to drop her stuff off. And I think she changed clothes. So I think when she came back down, when they get in the car, I think she had on different clothes. So she might have changed also. And that's the next scene.
Right.
Laura and Leroy are in the car. In Laura's car, Leroy is explaining the final level to her, talking about the glow. Laura likes what she hears and tells Leroy she knows he's going to love what she has to show him at the studio.
Yeah, boy.
Leroy looks away, and Laura's trying to get his attention. Leroy tells her he's thinking about a friend who came to him and needed some advice about making love. That's a crazy ass thing. That's a crazy ass thing. Like, why would, Laura obviously was not buying what he was saying anyway. And like, can you ever imagine telling someone that your boy came to you for some advice about making love? That sounds weird. That sounds crazy. That sounds stupid. And he's talking about the friend doesn't even have a paintbrush. He can't even draw. And
Lord have mercy.
He was losing her at that point because she was like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "The art of making love." And then she tells him, "Well, he tells her that his friend doesn't have any moves." And she says, "I would love to teach you some moves."
Love to teach you some moves.
And he should have said, "Turn this goddamn car around. Let's go back to your apartment."
Right.
Show me some moves.
I dreamed, hey man, when I was a kid, I dreamed of Vanity teaching me some moves, man.
Man, exactly, man. And Leroy was just lost.
With his soft ass voice. I just teach you some moves. Like, it's almost like he was French, man.
But then he corrected her and said, "No, it's not for me. It's for my friend." Of course, she wasn't buying it. She didn't believe what he was talking about anyway. Man. But he was, man. He had no game, man. He had no game. Like I said, I blame his dad, his uncles, his older cousins,
little brother for bullying him.
Man, that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. So, speaking of Richie, the next scene, Richie and his friends are going to Seventh Heaven. Richie said he's going to wait because he's going to tell Laura how he feels. And you know what? It kind of made me laugh watching that because I remember when people used to walk around with those big boombox radios. And I had one that was quite, probably like the size that Richie had. And I tried to walk around with that one time. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not walking around with this big ass radio all day. And I was a little kid,
Time out.
Go ahead.
I got a story that'll trip you out about a boombox.
Go ahead,
I'm
man.
sorry, but we got to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mom was mean as shit.
Okay.
Bro, I had a boombox, and I'd take it to school.
School?
Like, you could take them to school. Bro, you could take them to school.
Elementary school?
And then you could, on recess, yes. At recess, 5th, 6th grade, listen. You could, and I had that double cassette one, so I'm mixing shit up, right?
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
So I had that sweet boy. So I have it at school. My mom, and you could take them on the recess, and we would set it up and play ball, right?
Okay.
And there was these little mini basketball courts, and that's just where it went down. And my mom told me it was snowing, and I wanted to take it to school, and she was like, "Don't take that motherfucker to school." Mm-hmm. So finally, I begged. She was like, "All right, finally you can take it, but don't take it out on recess." She's like, "It's gonna get wet and some butt shit like this." So I don't know what we was doing, but we was sledding down this hill, and I'm like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take the boombox out." Don't you know? She know me so damn well, and we live right across from the school. My mom was at home. She drove by the sledding hill and saw me and saw that boombox. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. What do you think I did? I mean, she pulls right up to the fence around the corner.
You started crying immediately.
Bro,
you started crying.
I knew I was getting my ass whipped. She was. I didn't know for sure she had seen the boombox because there was some kids standing there. So I scoot back and she's kind of looking, and I kicked that motherfucker. So I kick it I kick it back trying to.
You kicked it in the snow? It was in the snow?
Man, listen. Yes.
You didn't worry about it getting messed up?
I kicked that mother.
Oh.
I didn't give a fuck at that point. I kick it. It goes back, falls down, and she must have seen it then because she just looked at me and was like, mm-mm. So I get in there. I didn't think she'd seen it. So me, I'm going to be slick. I'm going to get home. She was like, "Where's the boombox?" I'm like, "Oh, I left it at school." She was like, you had it outside. I saw you. I said, you want mine? You ain't see mine. I said, that wasn't mine. And I said, you ain't see my boombox shit. My mom was also the homeroom mother.
Okay.
Like the mother that does all the parties and all that bullshit.
Uh-huh.
So her and the teacher was cool. So the teacher, she always called my mom. She would call my mom and tell on me. She'd be like, Mother, he did this today. So she called and said, Mother, he took that radio outside. So the teacher ratted me out. Boy, she beat the shit out my ass, boy, over a boombox.
So
I broke that motherfucker when I back kicked it trying to hide it, and I broke it.
So you left it at the school, or you just left it off?
I left it at school trying to hide it because I had broke it.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And them things wasn't cheap. They weren't cheap either.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. She didn't replace it either. She said, you want another one, you going to buy it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have no situation like that. Like I said, man, I tried to carry that thing around one time and was like, oh, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to keep it. And I wasn't even going anywhere, but just in the neighborhood, like on the block, my grandmother's street, up and down the street, whatever. But I was like, I'm not about to carry this damn radio up and down no, hell no, I'm not doing that. So.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, there you are. Okay. It keeps like flashing out. Hey, so your grandmother, Rick's mom.
Yeah.
Where did I forget? She lived I forget the cross.
Elmhurst on Dexter.
Okay.
In the hood, man.
So I went by there because one of these jobs
recently?
That might bring me to Michigan is over. It's over. I went by there. I went down the lodge. Then I got off.
Are you crazy?
Listen, then I had to go. I remembered the name because it looked familiar. So then I had to go up to Oakland Avenue, and the place is off Oakland Avenue, the plant that I went to on Friday. So I was like, man, I know this. It was Elmhurst, yeah. I was like, man, I know that sounds familiar. Man, I thought that's where it was.
You have to most definitely be careful going over in that.
That's how I have to go to work.
Yeah, man, shit, man. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, so you got to go telegraph to the lodge, and they had me get off, and then I crossed down there. It went all the way down. I thought I could just go down to the Davidson and get off on the first exit right there, Oakland Avenue. Mm-hmm. That's where the plan is. But, yeah, it had me go that way, and I'm like, shit, I know this street name.
Okay, let me tell you something, man. I got a story for you now, man. I know people are like, damn, get back to the movie. We gonna get back to the movie. Just hang on 1 second. So,
hey, we can talk about our shit too. We don't always have to be talking about movies. We got opinions, and we can talk about karate people, and we can talk about our life. If you don't like us, don't fucking tune in. Shit. I might just want to catch up. You know what? One podcast, I might just want to catch up with you, man. Fuck it. If they don't want to hear us, fuck them.
For sure.
And I'm drinking straight water tonight.
And I got a chorus, man. I got a chorus, so I'm feeling it. But anyway, all right. So check this out, man. So I used to work at the Jewish Community Center, the JCC, right? And I was a personal trainer there. And I was teaching karate classes there, right? So I was training a client one morning, and he asked, where I grew up, and I said, Dexter and Davidson, so I was like almost 13, and then we moved over here where I live, the neighborhood that I live in now, right? So he tells me that his mother, then this gentleman he was older, of course. He was like maybe in his early 50s as I was training him. He says that his mother used to live in the neighborhood where my grandmother lives. So when my dad first moved over there, when they first moved over there in the early 50s, that whole neighborhood was a Jewish community over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after the riots, that's when people started to move out. So one day, this gentleman, he's a podiatrist.
Doctor.
Yeah. So he knows where his mom's old house was. So he goes over there to take pictures of the house, right? So him and his buddy, and he tells his buddy, like, yeah, this is where my mom used to live. So they pull on the block. Now, of course, now in the early 2000s, this neighborhood is not the same as it was in the 50s. Like it is it's sad. It looks like somebody just dropped a bomb in the middle of central Detroit and blew it up, because everything over there looks very, very rough now, right? So he goes in front of the house. He sees a van sitting in front of the house. So he sees it, and he's taking pictures of the house. As he's taking pictures of the house, a guy jumps out of the van, runs in the inside of the house.
Oh, hell no.
And like maybe 20 seconds later, a bunch of dudes run out the house with automatic guns, right? Because they don't know who these people are in this car taking pictures. So they see this guy, they see these guys coming out with automatic weapons. They jump in their car and they peel off. And the guy says he see a police officer. He says, so I see the police officer, I gun it. I press the pedal, and I'm going about 70 because I want the cop to pull me over. He said he goes 70 past this police officer. The police don't do nothing. You know, Detroit cops don't really pull people over. They say that shit for the suburbs. So he does 70. He said,
Verona. You know they were together. They rode together.
I didn't know that.
My cousin and her rode together.
So he goes about 70 past this cop. The cops doesn't do anything. The car is following him. So then they're like, well, damn, let's jump on the freeway. But he does not. He's so scared. He's not paying attention. He goes on the exit ramp. So he goes on the freeway in the wrong direction. And
oh my gosh.
Yes. So then the guys stopped following him. They didn't get on the freeway then. So then he realized that he's on the freeway going the wrong direction as traffic is coming at him. So then he says that he had to hit the brakes and do a spin and turn around and go the other direction. He told me he had never been so scared of his life. And all I could say was, yeah, don't do that no more. Like, don't go take it. Don't go taking pictures. Don't go taking pictures.
I'm not taking pictures. I just remember that name, and I was like, man, I think that's where he grew up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get back to the movie. Now we back to the movie, folks.
Yeah, we back to it.
All right. So, like I said, Richie and his friends, they're outside the seventh heaven. Richie says he's going to tell Laura how he feels. Ridiculous. Like I said, this little 13-year-old kid, and she's in her, early 20s or whatever. Now, Laura and Leroy are inside the seventh heaven. Laura is playing a music video, and it's your boy, Mike. It's Bruce Lee. It's Bruce Lee. And then all of a sudden, I swear to God, man, it seemed like Leroy got an erection, because he immediately perked up when he saw Bruce Lee. And he started doing.
He started emulating it.
Yeah, man, he started doing all of his different martial arts moves, and he's looking goofy.
Man, now he was more excited about it, Bruce than her.
He was, man. He was, and he's doing all of his different techniques. He's doing elbow strikes and punches. He's making weird ass noises, and he's just really into it. He loved that video. Now Richie and his friends are outside and they're listening, and one of Richie's friends tells him he thinks he hears something on the inside. So they go around to another entrance to find out what's going on. Now Laura is getting closer to Leroy. She's looking at Leroy. She's looking at the screen. She's getting close. Like, she wants him to do something to her, and he is not picking up the signals that she's giving him.
Right.
So she decides, well, damn, I'm just gonna go for it, and she kisses him. He kisses back, but he kind of pulls back a little. He's kind of not knowing what to do. I don't know why, man. Every time I see this scene, I'm just like, do something, go for it.
He's a virgin, man.
Oh yeah,
He's a virgin.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Richie got more game than him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, most definitely. We see Richie and his friends. They sneak up upstairs, and they're over the balcony looking like up in the lights. Bruce Lee, on the screen, Bruce Lee kisses the female that's in the scene with him. Yep. So Leroy says, oh, okay, I guess I can do that. And then he leaves in and kisses Laura, So I guess he saw that Bruce did it, then he can do it also. Now Richie and his friends are seeing this, and Richie is pissed. He is upset, and he leaves. Leroy looks at the screen, and Laura asks him, "What was that?" And he says, "It's a Chinese connection." And then he figures out a way to get inside of some dumb goy. That was so stupid. Like, man, you can figure that out after you do what you need to do with Laura.
Yeah.
Bro, don't worry about that master shit. Take care of this right now. Because that's a maybe. And this is a definite with Laura right now. Like, she was ready. She wanted Leroy some dumb going. That's what was going on.
Right. Hey, I've been told Rick before, man, fuck this class. I gotta go handle something. I've been in a tournament, been like, fuck this tournament. Rick, I gotta go. Shit. He fucking knows.
Yeah. So Leroy leaves Laura, and then Richie's outside. He's complaining with his friends. He thinks that it's because of him that Leroy even knows who Laura is. So he's heartbroken. He's upset. But then he decides he's going to go back in and give them a piece of his mind. Laura doesn't even, I don't even know, she doesn't even know that he has feelings like that for her.
Right.
She doesn't know that at all. So when he goes back in, he's screaming down at her and says that, he ran out on you, huh? She tells him to come down. He says, I don't know what you even see in him. He decides to leave again. And as he leaves, Laura turns around. Laura tells him to come downstairs. And he turns. I don't know if he was leaving for good or if he was going down to talk to her. But then she sees Eddie. Eddie steps out of the shadow. So he's inside the seventh heaven. Somehow he found a way to get inside the seventh heaven.
Eddie's slick.
And so Laura backs away and she turns around and runs right in the rock. He's already in seventh heaven. He captures her. So she screams. Richie hears her scream and he comes back and he tells them to get their hands off his woman. And he repeats it. He repeats it again, and all Eddie does is just looks up at him and just laughs. You got anything to say about any of that, Mike?
I love Richie, man. That's my guy.
Well, he has heart. I don't like him.
Heart.
Yeah, he got heart. He's a dickhead, but he got heart.
I like him. I like him, man. That's who I want my little brother to be.
So the next scene, we see Leroy. He goes back to some dumb goy with a pizza. This time he's dressed.
Stop. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
There is something about this. Do you just hate Rock? I just hate Rock in this movie.
I don't. I like the guy. Actually, I don't hate him at all. Why is he getting on your nerves?
He's just I don't know.
He's a failed boxer.
Right.
You kind of feel sorry for him. Like he has nothing else going on. He has to work for Eddie to get some money. Eddie dropped him. Is not caring about his career anymore.
I guess so.
He's just a flunky at this point in his life.
All right, I feel bad for him now, I guess. You put it in perspective. I don't dislike him.
So Leroy is at some dumb goy. Now he's dressed up. I guess he figures this is how to dress. He's dressed kind of cool for the 80s, He got some sunglasses on. He got his I think he had his collars popped. He had on a different hat. It wasn't made out of wicker this time. So he knocks on the door and says that he was trying to get his language together also as he was standing outside waiting for the Chinese guys to open the door. When they open the door and he comes in, he tells them that the master ordered a pizza, and they were confused.
Right.
They didn't know what was going on with him, and he brought them a pizza with bean sprouts. I think that's what he said. Why would he think that's what they want to eat? Why wouldn't he just get a regular pepperoni pizza?
And what was the saying he kept saying to him? The term he used. It wasn't right now. What was he saying?
Hey, when you talking about when he came in?
Yeah.
"Hey, my man, what it look like?" That's what he was trying to get.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, so he was saying that in different voices.
Yeah, the voice.
Yeah, he's saying that in different voices. Hey, my man, what it look like? I don't know why he thought that would be a good thing to say. I don't know. Well, anyway, they
Hey, what's the answer to that? What's the most common answer? You know the old school answer to that. Shit, I can't call it.
To hey, my man, what it look like?
Shit, I can't call it.
That or from Detroit, we said what up though,
What up, though? Right.
That's what we say in Detroit,
That's more modern though. That's not the 80s.
No, that is the 80s, man. I remember saying that.
Man, what up though was like 90s.
No, man. People been saying that from way back in the day in the 80s. Yeah, man. I remember saying that I remember saying that on my grandma's block as a little kid, man. So I've heard about what up though for a long time. Like I don't never not remember ever saying that. That's a Detroit thing. People.
I remember what they hitting for.
Like
what they hitting for. Yeah, what they hitting for.
We're not going.
What it be like?
We not about to have a slanguage class, Mike. That's
the difference between Pontiac. That's the difference between Pontiac and Detroit, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So the Chinese guys, they take the pizza. They say the master's not here right now. They ask him to hang out, to smoke with them, to drink with them, and shoot craps. So I guess the Chinese guys are thinking, okay, well, he's full of shit. This guy was here not that long ago because they asked him if he was the same guy who was there before, and he said no. They don't believe him. But I guess they figured they about to get his money. Right. So they let him stay. Now the next scene that we see, Angie goes to Leroy to tell him about go to his dojo to tell him to be careful and to stay away from Seventh Heaven. Then she runs into Johnny. Now she is amazed at the dojo when she walks in. Obviously she has never been in a martial arts school dojo before. So she asks him, is this where he does all of the stuff? And Johnny said, yeah. He tries to show off. He says he does it too. And it seemed like they were kind of flirting with each other in this scene.
Yeah, he was trying to shoot a shot, man. He was
right.
Like, remember, he did the noise too.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped down and did the noise.
Right. And he did this little hip wiggle thing that just took her to another level. She got all excited when he did that. She tells Johnny that she's about to leave town. She's going back to Kew Gardens. And she tells Johnny to tell Leroy to stay away from Seventh Heaven because of Eddie. He's gone mad. The next scene we see Eddie and Rock. They're in Seventh Heaven, messing with equipment. We see Laura and Richie are tied up behind them, and they are looking at music videos. He's learning how to work the switchboard and everything. And that was pretty much it for that scene. Back at Some Dumb Goy, Leroy has the Chinese guys. They're not playing craps. He tells them this is how you play craps. In Harlem. They're playing hopscotch, and it didn't even click in their head. You would have thought they would have known.
I seen that. I forgot about that. When I seen that, I fell on the floor laughing. To me, that was the funniest part of the movie.
Yeah, he has them playing hopscotch. And then he notices that it's a long time and the master's still not here. And he asks him, where's the master? They tell him the master doesn't see anyone. Leroy says, he will see me. I have this. And he pulls out the medallion, what he thinks is a medallion. He shows it to him. And they're looking at it and they're hovering over it. And they look at it. They tell him, okay, we'll let you talk to the master. Then they take him outside and they close the door. I had a good laugh when I saw that part too, because he didn't realize he was leaving, like he was going outside. So as he's standing outside, he realized that he's been tricked, and he kicks that damn door down. Now he's pissed. Leroy is now pissed, and this is right. I think this is the first time we've really seen, the second time we've really seen him angry, because after the incident at the pizza shop when his family's pizza shop was messed up, when he went back and he started training, we saw some emotion out of him then. But then this time he's had enough of these Chinese guys. He kicks the door in and says that he wants the master. He wants to see the master. Now they didn't try and play him. I guess because he kicked the goddamn door down. Because their whole mood, everything changed, you know. You know, they got a little scared. And then they decided to show him the master. Because he demanded it. And they take him to see the master. And the master is a big computer which makes fortune cookies. And they said that they did that to help. They created the idea of the master to help sell more fortune cookies. And then Leroy is confused. He's sad also, you know, because he realized that his master has just sent him on a wild goose chase for nothing. The next scene, you got anything to say about that scene, Mike? Nope. Okay. All right, the next scene, Leroy returns back to his master. He asks him, why did he send him on a journey to nowhere? Leroy's master gives him a fortune cookie and tells him everything he needs to find his way to the Golden Globe is in this fortune cookie. And when he opens it, it's empty. He should have.
So this is the part I do have a comment on.
Okay, he should have known there.
That means. No, that means he's already the master. He just don't know. There's nothing left. There's nothing left in the cup. Nothing in the cookie. Nothing. He's emptied everything from the master. He is the master.
Why did not his master just not tell him? Like, why is he trying to make him figure this shit out?
Because he should already know.
Yeah, he should have known. He should have known. But then again, Leroy's like, well, I'm not glowing. You know, everything you said was supposed to happen, right. You know, so he doesn't believe it in himself that he's the master. Even though throughout the movie leading up to this part, there have been things that should have triggered that in his head.
Motherfucker, this should have triggered it. He says that arrow. I'm a motherfucking master.
Yeah, because
arrow come at me like this here, I'm catching it.
Especially when you didn't know.
I'm the motherfucking master.
Yeah. And
he shot arrows at him.
Not only that, Mike, he knows how to catch bullets with his teeth.
His teeth.
That because, you know, Show enough said that at the beginning of the movie that, you know, he's tired of hearing rumors that you know how to catch bullets with your teeth. You know? Right. So he should have known that.
You're the master. He's special.
Man, I would have thought I was Jesus if I can catch a bullet with my teeth. Like, who's doing that? Who is catching bullets with your teeth? You know? So, yeah. So, anyway, Leroy asks about the medallion, and the master says that a true master will use that to hold his pants up. The master tells him there's still one place that he hasn't looked, and it's there. Now, the master is packing his bags. Leroy asks him, is he's taking a journey somewhere? And he says, no, I'm going to Miami to visit my mother, you know.
Right.
The next scene, we see Leroy. He has obviously talked to Johnny because he has found out he has to stay away from Seventh Heaven, and he's looking serious. Right. Johnny is trying to convince him, like, don't go, stay away. You can't go by yourself. And then he's, you know, Johnny is talking to him, and he's not listening to Johnny at all, whatever Johnny is saying. Then Johnny says, well, if you go, then I go.
Right.
And Leroy says, okay. Right. You know, Johnny starts getting ready.
Right. You ready? But he kind of told him, like, this is for real.
Yeah.
Like, this about to go down.
Yeah.
Johnny was about it, though.
Leroy was grabbing weapons, and he said, you know, Johnny's like, you know, you need weapons also. Johnny said, yeah, weapons, right? He goes into the closet. Leroy closes the closet, locks it, and says that he tells Johnny, like, I need to do this alone. And Johnny's in the closet banging. Like, he locked it with a padlock.
Yeah, put his boy in there and didn't give a shit.
He didn't.
I mean, but he was looking out for him. He must have knew he was soft.
Well, think about it. Johnny couldn't. Up until that point, we have not seen Johnny do anything. Johnny cannot fight.
Smooth the honey.
Right.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, we have not seen Johnny do anything. So if that was my student, I would not have wanted my student to get involved either, you know? So, you know.
I think we've all had those students, though. We've all had them students like, you don't want to go to the tournament, but they want to go to the tournament. I just be wanting to lock them in the dojo.
Yeah.
Like, no, cuz.
Right. So anyway, Eddie is playing music in Seventh Heaven when on a monitor he sees Leroy sneaking in. And then it goes back to Leroy's dojo, and we see Ernie shows up. Now, Ernie doesn't have a name in this movie, so I'm calling him by his real name. Ernie Reyes. He shows up to get Johnny, and he's giggling. He's laughing as he is trying to use the key to open the lock. Now, I wanted to know, where the hell did Ernie come from? Ernie is obviously a little kid. Whose kid is he? And it's nighttime. It's late. Like, why
just out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere. And he has the key. Like, why does he have the key?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No sense.
85, 86, there's no cell phones really. So it's not like Johnny could have called him and said, hey, I'm locked in the closet. Can somebody come get me? You know? But Ernie's there. He shows up. He's giggling. And as he opens unlocks the lock. And then Johnny can get out. Now Ernie thinks they were supposed to go to a movie or something because he said, where are we going? We already missed the second show. And Johnny tells him, just come on. So he's going to take Ernie with him to go to Seventh Heaven. Right? You got anything about that, Mike?
No, Ernie's. I don't understand the Ernie thing too. I mean, that's a trip. That's mind-boggling.
Right. So Leroy comes into Seventh Heaven, and he's sneaking in, and then Eddie comes on the big screen. And, and he's telling them that he's going to go out in style. And all of the people who Eddie hired earlier comes out of, I guess, backstage. And they surround Leroy. And Eddie hits a button, and the floor lights up, and the battle starts. Everybody comes at Leroy. Now, he's beating these guys up for the most part.
It wasn't too bad. Too bad. The fight scene was not too bad. We've watched worse.
Yes. Until Goliath shows up.
Oh, shit.
A big guy named Goliath. He slams Leroy down a couple of times. Leroy has his nunchucks. He takes the nunchucks, and he bites the nunchucks. So you know Goliath has nothing to play with. And then another guy comes over to Goliath, and when Goliath slams Leroy down, this guy is hitting Leroy with a chain. He's spanking him with this chain. Now, did you notice that this scene, if you pay attention, you can hear Leroy's students coming because there's noise going on in the background.
Did you pay attention? That. No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so as he's getting hit with the chain, that you can hear them. It's faint, and it starts to build up as they come. And then all of a sudden, if you look over, all of Leroy's students come into Seventh Heaven, and they're helping out. They jump up, they're punching, they're kicking, they're fighting. Now, these are all kids. I don't think any of them were older than Leroy. So Ernie looked like he might have been 8 or 9 because he was not as old as Richie. So he's younger than Richie. And all of these kids just come in and they start attacking these grown adults. And these people that they're fighting are not bums. These are some of the best fighters that are around that Eddie has hired.
Recruited, right.
Yeah. And I was thinking, like, man, these guys, these wild animal guys cannot beat up these kids. Because they were losing to them. I mean, it was to the point where Leroy didn't even have to fight them anymore.
Right.
And then Johnny had improved. Johnny was working the nunchucks and he was beating people up, and he wasn't making a fool out of himself. Him, and eventually Crush, one of Shonuf's guys, was there, and he ends up taking down Johnny, and Ernie got pissed, and Ernie does a couple moves to show that, hey, I'm about to take you on, and Crush kind of looks around and is like, me? You talking to me? And Ernie goes at him, and then Johnny gets back up, and they help him. They both of those guys together take out Crush. Let me ask you this, man. Do you remember it couldn't have been long after this movie came out, there was a TV show in the early 80s that starred Ernie Reyes Jr. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, Sidekicks.
Yep, it was called Sidekicks. It was him and some older guy, a police officer. And it was like a karate show. I used to watch that as a kid. I don't think it lasted more than one season. It might have been 1 or 2 seasons.
1 or 2 at the most, I believe.
Yeah, I used to like that as a kid. So when I saw Ernie in the movie, I was like, oh, it's that kid, because I think I saw Sidekicks before I saw The Last Dragon, so I was kind of happy to see somebody else that I knew,
Right.
But
his dad was one of the directors in this fight scene choreographer.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I never knew that up until this viewing.
Yeah, me either.
Movie. I saw the credits and I saw that.
Yeah.
So then Eddie and Rock, they are taking Laura out. And then they make sure that Leroy sees them leaving. So as they're sneaking off, Leroy decides to follow them. And Richie, this is one of my favorite scenes. The only thing I really like that Richie does, he starts breakdancing in order to get out of the ropes. I remember seeing that for the first time, and I had a good laugh. When I was a little kid, I remember laughing at that. That's how he found a way to get out of those ropes. So outside, Leroy goes outside. Eddie is in the building next door, and he's making sure that Leroy is following him. And he yells out the window to Leroy. Leroy goes into the building. Leroy follows them, and Eddie and Rock split up. They go their separate ways. Richie follows them, and eventually Richie runs into Rock. And this guy was a boxer. He got beat up, by Richie. Richie kicked him, in the private parts a couple times and pushed him down, got away. And then Richie runs into Beast, one of Shownuff's other guys. He thought he was going to do the same thing to Beast, and it wasn't happening. Leroy shows up, and he sees Beast holding Richie. He tells him to let him go. And he says, anything that you say. He throws Richie. And Richie hits his head. It looked like a muffler that he hit his head on. But it was a loud clank when he hit his head on that piece of whatever it was, that piece of metal.
Yeah.
He really should have been extremely knocked out. Like, he shouldn't have woke back up when Leroy came over to him. So then Beast and Leroy fight. And Leroy, he takes Beast out. I would have thought that Beast would have had a better fight than what he got. Yeah, but he didn't get too much of anything. Leroy runs over to Richie, and he looks at him. He wakes him up, and he gets up. And, Richie is in this dream state where he thinks he's saving Laura. Leroy takes him and puts him in a cage and locks him and tells him he'll be safe there. But Richie doesn't want to go. He wants to help him. He wants to help his brother fight. So as Leroy is walking around, here is Shownuff. Shownuff appears. And Leroy looked surprised when he saw him. But he shouldn't have been surprised. Like, you already
his
saw...
His voice was there.
Yeah, you saw Beast. You saw Crunch. So you should have known, okay, I'm approaching the final boss. Right. He should be coming up anytime soon. And Shownuff asked him if he was warmed up yet. And they start to fight. Shownuff is blocking Leroy's attacks. Shownuff slaps him around a little bit, and then Leroy takes over. Shownuff kicks Leroy through a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leroy goes to hide. Shownuff goes through the wall, and he's looking for Leroy. Can't find him. And then all of a sudden, Leroy, he makes his Bruce Lee noise, and he comes flying through the air with like a flying sidekick and hits Shownuff into the chest, and he flies through a door, hits the ground. And Leroy thinks he's done because he does like a little sigh of relief.
Right.
And then when that music hit, man,
you knew
it was on. Because I love that when that music came on, and you hear Shownuff say Leroy, and Leroy turns around and Shownuff is gone, and then he walks into the room. And eventually he turns around and he sees Shownuff. Shownuff's hands are now glowing red.
Glowing red, boy.
And he said, playtime's over. And Leroy looked defeated right there.
Yeah, he was like, damn, he's got the glow.
He should have thought, this is the master. That's what he should have thought. He should have bowed down and said, oh, you're right. Yeah. You are the master.
Because you join the dark side right then.
I mean, like you are seeing a human glow. Like, I don't care what happens. If I ever see that, I'm thinking like, okay, you are the master. Okay, I was wrong this whole movie. I've been wrong because you're glowing. And this is what Leroy had been looking for the whole time. If anybody that was in Little China or wherever he was, and one of those guys that was at some dumb goy, they were in there glowing, Leroy would have looked at them as the master.
Master, right.
You know, so I don't understand why he didn't see Shonuff. Like, and Shonuff had been saying through the entire movie that I am the master. He'd been telling him that, you know, so Leroy still tries to attack Shonuff, and it's not working. He's throwing kicks and everything, and, you know, it's not working. Shonuff is hitting him, and red explosions is popping off of him, and he's trying to get Leroy to say that he is the master. Leroy won't say it. Laura's there. Eddie's there. They're watching. Laura looks concerned. I don't know why she was so scared, because I don't think up until that point Laura had ever seen Shonuff. So right. I don't know why she was so scared or concerned for Leroy at that part of the movie. You know?
But she had never seen Leroy get his ass whooped.
Well, he hadn't got his ass whooped yet. You know, like, remember, like, when
he's kind of getting it whooped.
Well, he's getting it whooped right now, but before they started fighting, when he was glowing, like, all she saw was him glowing. Well, I guess if you see a human glowing, I would have been scared too. Yeah. I guess she had a reason to be scared. And like I said, Leroy is refusing to say that Shonuff is the master. Leroy continues to take a beating. Leroy is refusing to say it. Shonuff is continuing to ask him. Then he takes him over to where a barrel of water is. Eddie wants Shonuff to drown Leroy. He's not playing around.
This is my favorite part.
He wants him done. What, him drowning or him starting to think?
Him drowning and him starting to.
Okay, so
it's like when Hulk Hogan hawks up. Leroy was hawking up.
So as Shonuff is dumping Leroy's head in this water and he's holding him underwater, Leroy is starting to reminisce about everything that has transpired up until this point. He's thinking about what his master said. He's thinking about things that Laura said. And, you know, it's almost like he is looking at his life. Like, you know, what they say.
He's channeling the energy, man.
Yeah. So it's like he's seeing his life flash before his eyes. Shonuff pulls him up and says, I'm going to ask you one more time, who is the one and only master? And then Leroy says, I am. That pissed off Shonuff because he decided to throw a punch at him. And then he caught it and said, I am. Right. Now, at this point in time, both of them were glowing. Shonuff's glow was starting to fade and it was starting to leave. What did you think about that? Because to me, it was like, okay, so in this world, in this movie, does anyone who just believes they're the master, are they going to just start glowing? Like, how do you get that power?
I believe he was a master. I believe Shonuff was a master.
So Shonuff shouldn't have never lost his glow. Like, why did he stop glowing also?
No, because Leroy channeled more energy, man. He's a deeper master.
Okay. All right. So then, once again, Leroy says, I am. Eddie starts to get scared. Shonuff, his glow is starting to fade. Leroy starts beating up Shonuff. Leroy's kicking Shonuff, and then he eventually kicks him into a barrel, the barrel where the water was. Now, he didn't just let Shonuff drown. He pulls him out and puts him over the edge so he doesn't drown in that water. So he's defeated. Shonuff has been taken down. He is defeated. And then Eddie comes out of the shadows with a gun, and he shouts at Leroy. Now, as he's shouting at him, Leroy he's looking concerned because Eddie has a gun. Right. And then Eddie shoots at him, and all you see is Leroy's eyes, and we see him falling down. And then Laura screams. And Eddie starts to laugh. Eddie walks over to him, turns him over, and finds out that Leroy has caught the bullets with his teeth. Now, this bullet didn't even look like a bullet. It never. Every time I see this part, it looks like he got a diamond in his mouth. It never looked like it never looked like a bullet to me. You know, I never got that part, and I don't even know why that was. I don't know that that was always stupid to me. You know, because it's stuff like that, man, that gives us martial artists a bad rep, man. You know, one time someone asked, we did a demonstration on the east side, and someone asked if they can shoot at us.
What?
Yes, we did a demonstration on the east side one time as kids, like 14, 15 years old, and somebody asked if they can shoot at us. And we're like, no, hell no. You know, it's this type of stuff that just gives us like, oh man, martial art is just a bad rep, man. For real. Well, anyway, Leroy gets up, he grabs Eddie, he puts him on a chain and hook, and he brings him up. So he has him, he's not going anywhere. The police arrive, and Laura's stylists come, and they start taking care of her and getting her ready, asking her where she's been. Leroy disappears. He vanishes. He runs away. I guess he didn't want to talk to the cops. I don't know. I think you pretty much are supposed to talk to the police. Right. You're not just supposed to disappear and run away, especially with everything going on. I mean, It was a kidnapping.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. You know, we got glowing human beings. You know,
kidnapping.
Yeah, you know, cats and dogs living together. You know, all types of crazy stuff. Leroy probably shouldn't have disappeared. The last scene, we're back at 7th Heaven. It's a white party going on. Everybody's wearing white. Leroy shows up with a bunch of flowers for Laura. He's trying to ask Laura a question. She can't hear. It's too much music going on. He asks again. She still can't hear. And then finally he asks if she can teach him some moves. As he says that, the music drops. And he didn't look too embarrassed. You know? He didn't really look too embarrassed about it. And she comes down the steps, she runs, and then they get on this little platform. They go flying up in the sky together, and everyone's happy. And even Richie is even happy for his brother. And also at the party, his students are there also, because we see Ernie, we see Johnny, and we see some of the other kids who are in the background. Yeah, so I'm having a good time at 7th Heaven. And that, my friends, is the end of The Last Dragon review, man. That was fun. That was a fun review, man. What'd you think?
I love that movie, man.
Yeah, man. It was pretty good, man. It was fun. I liked it a lot. Any more
I've always
closing?
loved that movie.
Any more closing thoughts on that movie, man? But
he was just weird, man. But I didn't realize how weird he was when I was a kid. But
I did. I did.
But I love this movie for this reason right here.
for the Barton song, huh?
You gotta love it. Come on, you be like glowing yourself, man. Like I was the last dragon, man. I used to dunk my head in the side of the pool.
I really could see you doing
like
that
I
too,
was
man.
The last dragon. Oh yeah,
I can see you doing that too. All right, so that was pretty fun, man. That was pretty fun like that. So, like I said, man, we're gonna watch Rumble in the Bronx for next week, and we're gonna have our review for part 1 of Rumble in the Bronx. I don't think it's gonna be as good as this one. I don't think. From what I saw so far, I did enjoy the movie. From what I saw so far, but it's just not like The Last Dragon. You know, it's not gonna be too many movies that's like The Last Dragon anyway. You know, but that was fun. I like that movie a lot. On to our next topic.
You know what I did watch though?
What's that?
The Karate Kid 2 last week.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I can't wait till we review that.
You know what I figured, man? I'm gonna try and piggyback off the success of the Cobra Kai series. So when Cobra Kai releases season 3, that's when I want us to do all of the Karate Kid review movies.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, to get some attention from all of those people that's big Cobra Kai fans like me. I'm a huge Cobra Kai fan. I can't tell you how many times I've watched season 1 and 2 of Cobra Kai. You know, I like that a lot, man. Mm-hmm. Except for part 4, I don't want to review the Karate Kid 4.
The girl one?
Yeah, I just saw that for the first time about like in February for the first time because I had never seen it. I'm like, let me check it out, And that wasn't
it the Next Karate Kid or something?
That's what it's called, the Next Karate Kid. And
yeah,
It was all type of stupid, man. I mean, they had a fake Cobra Kai. He wasn't even in California. There was a ceremony in Boston. Real quick, there was a ceremony in Boston for World War II veterans, and Mr. Miyagi, he goes to the ceremony, and he sees the widow of one of his best friends that he met in the war, and she's having a problem raising her granddaughter. And Mr. Miyagi sees this, and he has dinner with this woman, and she's frustrated about her granddaughter. And Mr. Miyagi tells her, well, you know what? Maybe what you should do is water some plants. And she said, water some plants. He said, yeah, in my garden back in California. And he gives her his keys. So he's going to let her go to his place in California. And meanwhile, she is going to leave her teenage granddaughter with him in her house. Like that was weird as fuck. Like, why? Who does that?
Right.
Who does that at all?
I don't even remember that. It's been years.
Oh,
since
man.
I've seen that.
Yeah, man. I don't want to review that movie, man. I saw it, man, and like I said, I just saw it this year in February for the very, very first time, only because I wanted to see something else related to the Karate Kid movie, and I knew I never saw the next Karate Kid, but it's not good, man. Goodness gracious. But anyway, I got a question for you real quick before we go for the day. Mm-hmm. What would you rather have, Mike? Would you want to have a martial arts school that's very, very successful, where I'm talking you have about 2 or 3 locations, so you got a lot of students, all right? Mm-hmm. But your students are not top performers. They're at the most right around average. Most of them are below average martial artists. So there's not a lot of good. They're not going to tournaments and winning. Not at all. Or would you want to have one location and you have just a string of talented martial artists that go to tournaments, not only locally, but also nationally, and win? And they're not that sporadic win. I'm talking about consistently win.
Is this my only source of income?
Yeah. Yep.
3 schools with average ass students.
You said that quick without any type of hesitation at all. Okay, I was just wondering, man. I was thinking about it because I can't decide. Like, me personally, I don't know, man, because I know that
no one cares about sport karate but us. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. I don't care. I would try to make my students good, but I would rather have 3 locations than have a bunch of tournament champions. If it's my only source of income. But
you do know that even if you do have one location, if you have enough students, and let's just say like you have, maybe about 100, 150 students, but a lot of them are real good, you're still making good money. I'm not saying you're a bum. I'm not saying you're poor and a bum or struggling. I'm not saying that. It's just that with the 3 locations, you're making a lot more money, but
I had a student, man. I'll tell you this though. He didn't even get his black belt with me. I think he got up to like blue belt. But I'm not gonna say this kid's name. He's now grown. He's in college and doing very well. Great young guy. But he loved going to tournaments, and he never won. And he went to tournaments like 3-4 years in a row. I mean, I'm talking every time he fought, he'd come out crying. He just did not. He would try so hard. He would do drills. He just tried so hard. It just wasn't in the cards. But I would, try to not discourage him, but, you don't have to go to every one. Let's do, 4 out of the 10, because I didn't want him to get discouraged. But he went to every tournament for like 2-3 years in Michigan, never won, got his ass beat, and he just be like, I love tournaments. I love it.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm more proud of that kid than anyone. Like,
I got you. I hear you.
He just stuck with it. He was a tough little kid. Okay. But that's how come I'm okay with the 3 karate schools, I guess.
I hear you. Okay. I don't know, man. It's just something for me to think about, man, because I don't know. Like, even now, like, I have all of my kids that I have are all young. Like, I don't really have any. I don't have any teenagers. Everyone is under 12, between 4 and 12. All of my students that I have. So I don't know. I got some kids that's really
I'll tell
talented.
you this. Mm-hmm. I'm closer now that I have not taught in 6 years, mm-hmm. with my students that didn't compete as the ones that did.
Okay.
With the exception of one.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's one I talk to on the regular.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just crazy.
Okay.
People come in your life for different reasons, man. It's
exactly, for sure. Any plans this weekend, man?
I don't even know yet, man. I gotta see what work looks like, and I'm back trying to race these RC cars. So I might work on my RC car a little bit. I think my dad's gonna come down this weekend, so he likes the RC cars. So we're gonna hang out with Pops probably down here in the Amish community, and that's about it.
Okay, all right. I'm probably, I'm gonna have my boy. Morgan's birthday is tomorrow. When you guys listen to this, it'll be today. So it'll be Morgan's birthday as you guys are listening to this. I know she's gonna have a small little get together somewhere on Friday that I'm gonna go to. And I'm gonna have a champ on Saturday.
My favorite Plowden.
Morgan is your favorite Plowden.
Without a doubt. I talk to Morgan probably more than anyone. I love Morgan. That's my girl.
Morgan to get on your head too.
Oh yeah, quick.
Yeah,
tell you you're fucking up. But that's why I love her though. She's 100% honest, and I've watched her cut into some people. Mm-hmm. So like, I just stay on that good side and. Yes, man. I was teasing her, but I know she probably think I'd be playing, but I was 100% serious, man. Like growing up, like I could never remember her birthday. It's just something like birthdays in July, I can never remember for whatever reason. So a couple of years ago, I was watching cartoons. I'm gonna everybody know for who don't know, I love cartoons. So I was watching the new animated episodes of Looney Tunes, and on this episode, Bugs Bunny says that his birthday was July 27th, and when he said that, it stuck in my head, and I said, okay, well that lets me know that Morgan's birthday is 2 days after Bugs Bunny's birthday. So that's how I remember when Morgan's birthday is now. Like I say, Bugs Bunny's birthday is July 27th. Morgan's 2 days, so 29th. And ever since then, this has been maybe about 5-6 years ago. I told her when I saw the episode, I said, Morgan, you ain't gonna believe it. I remember your birthday now. And she asked me how, and I told her, she just looked at me with a blank stare. But I said, look, at least I remember, your birthday now, So I had sent a message to all my cousins too, and sent them a clip of Bugs Bunny saying when it was his birthday. So. At least I got it now. I ain't gonna forget it no more. You ain't gonna forget it now.
Nah, no more. But like I said, man, like I'm a tune in. Like I like cartoons, and I'm glad Champ likes cartoon stuff. He likes a lot of the old stuff that we used to watch. Like
That's good.
He was cracking up laughing at Sylvester and Tweety, Tom and Jerry. Like he had a good laugh watching them. And the Muppet Babies, they're back on TV now, so he knows them. It's new Muppet Babies, so he knows them.
Oh wow!
I didn't know. I didn't know it. The Muppets. Growing up, the Muppets were always. I liked the Muppets. Because they were a little bit more adult than the Sesame Street buddies. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like.
I didn't like
stars.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, the Muppets. I like because you would see actors come on there, and it was almost like a Saturday Night Live like type of thing. So growing up, I did. Yeah, so growing up, I did like the Muppet. It's one Muppet I really didn't trust, though, growing up. Now I like him, but growing up, I didn't like him. Animal. Animal. He was, when I was a little kid, he was too wild, man. And I remember us going to see the Muppets. Like, how they have Sesame Street Live. They had a Muppet Live that we went to. And I was concerned because I'm like, this guy, he's a little wild, and I don't want him to come out into the audience. I don't want him to come up and grab my mom and run off with her, because that's what he would do on the TV show. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, when I saw that he was a drummer, I was like, "Oh, okay, he's sweet. I like him now." But
Right.
when I was a little kid, I was just like, I don't know about this guy. All right, man. We all talking, and it's getting late. I know you got to get to bed. So everybody, thanks for listening to us. Once again, this is Fist Kick and Flicks with Gene and Mike. You got anything closing you want to say, Mike?
No, man. Everyone have a good week.
All right. Make sure that you guys check out Rumble in the Bronx. We're going to review that next week and have some other things to talk about. For everyone here at the Martial Arts Internet Network, our producer, Travis Plowden, you guys have a good week. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay strong, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.